Okay. And we're here, unfortunately, today to talk about Carrie Fisher and the wonderful life that she has led. Unfortunately, she passed today on the 27th of December. 2016 has claimed yet another great Hollywood actor, and she is just a Hollywood legend. She was the daughter of of Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher, and she is, she's been a complete inspiration not only as Princess Leia but in her personal life as well. But if you guys want to start talking about this, because it's a little hard for me, um, we can get into it. What was your guys' first introduction to Carrie Fisher?
Well, mine was obviously Star Wars when I was probably. I've been watching Star Wars for literally as long as I can remember, and Carrie Fisher was Princess Leia was kind of my was like the first female character that I saw that was like, oh yeah, it made me think, like, no matter someone's gender or ethnicity, they can be a total fucking badass. And Carrie Fisher helped make Princess Leia a badass with her brilliant acting and her brilliant writing. And because she rewrote lines for Leia in some of the movies, and there is no Princess Leia without Carrie Fisher, and this is hard to talk about. She's always been a huge inspiration in my life, and okay, Darren, say something.
Hello. Yeah, Carrie Fisher, I mean, her passing is very, it sucks. I mean, because like you said, Tisha, this year has been like the grim fucking reaper. I mean, we've lost Prince, we've lost, George Michael died the other day. It's just, I don't know what is with this year. But yeah, I mean, my first exposure to Carrie Fisher was, like Dylan said, of course, A New Hope. That's when I first met Princess Leia. And I want to, that was my first experience with her. And then, following up, I thought it was really cool to going from that, and then finally getting to see General Leia in The Force Awakens. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was pretty much my first exposure to her. And also, if you don't know, she also voices characters on Family Guy. So yeah, that was also my exposure to her as well.
Well, like Dylan already pointed out, and excuse my voice, I don't have much of one today, but like Dylan already pointed out, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, was one of the strong female characters. And in an era where we're in right now, where the social justice warriors seem to think that they have to force, quote unquote, force diversity into every little thing, Princess Leia has always been a glaring reminder that no, the fuck you don't. Because if you write a good, human, passionate character, the fans will latch on to her. And it doesn't matter if it's a her or a him or a freaking purple midget with green polka dots. Princess Leia was never really the female character. She was never a feminist character. She was just a human character that happened to be a female. And I mean, that's a great thing, because nobody ever sits there and thinks of Princess Leia as this strong female character. She's just Princess Leia, and she's a badass. And during the rescue, when Luke and Han in Episode 4 rescue her from the Death Star, she ends up rescuing them.
Yeah.
My God.
I remember that.
They break her out of jail, and then after that, she's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You're a bunch of fucking idiots. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
This is the way out. And then she sees the Millennium Falcon, and she's like, you came in that thing? You're braver than I thought. Like, she's just roasting Han and Luke the whole time.
Oh, her humor, even in real life, is not to be matched. I mean, she's got the greatest sense of humor I've seen in anyone. I mean, she should be a comedian, or should have been a comedian.
The great thing is Princess Leia is that she's not throwing it in your face every 5 minutes that she's a woman. She doesn't give a shit that she's a woman, and neither should we.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think especially in this day and age, because of that, not because of her gender, but because her gender was irrelevant to her character, that's what makes her so iconic. And that's why she should be, honestly, she should be the prototype for all fictional characters, male, female, black, white, whatever. It doesn't matter. Because, and I don't know, she really proved that none of that stuff is trivial. What counts is that the character has personality and that the character is relatable. And Princess Leia was all of those things. Excuse me.
Miller, what has been your, how has Carrie Fisher had an impact, or how has she affected your life?
Well, I've always respected her for just clearly being exactly the type of person she wanted to be. But she made that really clear, and it was really, it's really refreshing in Hollywood to see that type of person. So it's always just been a great example of, like, oh, this person who was in one of the biggest blockbusters and franchises of all time acted exactly how she wanted to in her life, and she didn't care if people had a problem with it or not, because she was just staying true to herself, and that's really great.
I would like to add, I'm extremely happy that she got finished filming episode 8.
Good. I wondered if she did.
She's totally done with that. So yeah, Princess Leia will be back. She will be in Star Wars Episode 8, and her role is so much bigger than what it was in Episode 7. So we're gonna get to say a good farewell to Princess Leia next year.
Good.
Yeah, that's the only problem I hate with that, and it's the same thing with Anton Yelchin. They gave him such a great characterization in Star Trek Beyond, and then we have to leave that character, and we have to find a way to finagle around that, and it just really, because Princess Leia was going to have, I mean, like you said, Will, she has a very much bigger role in Episode 8, but it would have been nice to see her have a bit followed through to Episode 9, and I don't know, it just sucks.
Well, and we don't know what their plans are for Leia in Episode 8. I mean, she might have honestly been killed off anyway.
I don't think that they would.
I was thinking that.
I don't think they're going to do that anymore, because I just don't see. I don't think when actors actually die in real life, you don't want to see them actually die.
Yeah, but they don't want to mess up the story.
I mean, they didn't know, but they didn't know. So
I hope the first thing that I hope before the crawl, the first thing that comes up is dedicated to Carrie Fisher.
Oh, it's got to be.
I think they'll do that
at the end credits at least.
Yeah, I think they'll do that.
I hope they don't put it at the end credits, because, to be honest, that's one thing that pissed me off about Superman Returns, was that it was dedicated to Christopher Reeve because he had passed in 2004. But it was buried in the end credits, and you almost don't see it. But when Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut came out, Richard Donner put it right there at the beginning, dedicated to Christopher Reeve, without whom you'd never believe a man could fly. And it was so touching, and it really sets the right tone for the movie. And it really pisses me off that Superman Returns, that Bryan Singer just kind of buried the dedication. I really hope they don't do that with Carrie Fisher.
I don't think it's burying.
I mean, personally, I don't think they're going to bury it. I think they're going to, like they did with Star Trek Beyond, they put it up. They did the end credit sequence, and they put it up for Anton, and they put it up for Leonard. But if they do it at the beginning of the film, that would, me personally, that would take me out of it.
Well, and the
Yeah,
dedication
Would it
to
take you
Star
out
Trek
of it?
Beyond,
It would
the
take no, because it's
dedication.
just like
Well, the
I'm really not
dedication.
trying to.
Go
Oh, go ahead,
ahead.
Will.
You guys are talking at the same
No,
time.
but I'm just like I'm not trying to sound like a I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but it's just like that. I don't want to be. I'm here for Star Wars. I'm not
It
here
might
to be
put a
reminded
damper on
of.
it,
Yeah,
on the whole
exactly. I'm
film.
not being here to be.
The
Yeah, I'm not
Dark
here to
Knight
be reminded of
handles that
something.
well with Heath Ledger as well.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I feel like having it right there at the beginning sets the tone. It sets the mood.
Me too.
It puts for me, it puts my heart in a place to be able to enjoy the final performance of this person. And back to Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, the dedication to Anton and to Leonard was at the end, but it was very prominent at the end. So if they do something like that, you know how Star Wars movies always iris out to the credits? If they iris out to dedicated to Carrie Fisher, that's one thing. But if it's just buried in the credits, because that's what it was with Superman Returns, it was literally buried in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 4 or 5 credits down. And it was just disrespectful, I felt, to Christopher Reeve. So I just hope whatever they do, you know the movie's going to be dedicated to her. I just hope it's dedicated to her in a prominent fashion.
And I bet it will be. I mean, she was one of the original stars of the series, so I think it will be.
I don't know. This is just sad, and I don't know. I mean, we all thought she was okay, and we wake up this morning to this news. Just fucking sucks.
Yeah, I do want to find out more about because she's supposed to be a very brilliant writer. So I do want to go back and read a lot of her books, and yeah, I do want to go back and read a lot of her books because she was supposed to be a very prominent writer. So I want to find out about her as well.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy The Princess Diarist, which is her new book.
I guess that kind of leads into me talking about this, huh? So, you know, Carrie Fisher, I grew up like you guys did with Star Wars. I went and saw it in the re-release in theaters, and was blown away. It was amazing to see a female character on screen that wasn't just the damsel in distress, but, you know, she's active throughout the entire film. In fact, you know, the first thing is her throwing sass at one of the guys and then like talking back at Vader. You know, she's not just this princess who got captured. She's like, oh, you know, whatever. I'm gonna get out of this. You know, who are you? You know what I mean? She knew who it was and everything, but you know, she knew who they were, but you know, she definitely brought her own sass to the role. And the more I look up on her, and the more I read of her, the more I see that it was not only Princess Leia, but it was definitely more of Carrie Fisher speaking. Especially because she kept going in and out of that British accent, because she'd been going to a British school right before she came to do the film. But what really resonated with me was, I'm sorry, this is going to be really difficult. So, you know, many years ago, and I'm sorry if this is too personal for you guys, many years ago, I was homeless, and I had gone through a broken engagement, and basically pushed everybody out of my life. And I'm gonna kind of read off of what I wrote, because I can't really talk about this much, because I really haven't. So I'm just going to read if it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So this is from the article I wrote today. Back in 2011, I was going through some of the most difficult times in my life. I was homeless, had gone through a broken engagement, and honestly had no idea what I was going to do with my life. While in the past I had had suicidal thoughts, at this point I literally did not know what else to do other than end it. One thing that I could do, it was about the only distraction that I had, was to go to the public library and read for free. There I stumbled upon 2 of Carrie Fisher's books, the only 2 that were out at the time, Shockaholic and Wishful Drinking. And I found myself drawn in by her words. While she was writing about her experiences and issues, it felt like she was talking to me specifically. A quote from the book, you know how most illnesses have symptoms you can recognize, like fever, upset stomach, chills, whatever. Well, with manic depression, it's sexual promiscuity, excessive spending, and substance abuse. And that just sounds like a fantastic weekend in Vegas to me. As well as, no motive is pure, no one is good or bad, but a hearty mix of both. And sometimes life actually gives to you by taking away. These words resonated because they rang so true. It felt like Carrie Fisher was talking directly to me, not just writing a book in that wonderfully funny, self-aware way that she had about her. My family is pretty great, don't get me wrong. However, they are big proponents of the put your big girl panties on and get over it method of thinking on mental illness. I was admittedly an overdramatic kid, so actually realizing that there was something mentally wrong with me was difficult to express to my family because it was written off as me being overdramatic. It wasn't just my family. Mental illness as a whole has a stigma in society, though I think most of humanity deals with it in some form or other. I had tried therapy before, but because of the above reasons, I acted fine and ignored the bad. It took many years to get a correct diagnosis. It was Carrie Fisher who finally made me realize I needed to get help. Sitting there reading her book and her descriptions of her illness, I finally realized that even if I wasn't suffering from exactly what she was, I definitely had something wrong with me. I finally went to a psychiatric hospital to get the help that I had so desperately needed for far too long. And then there's the quote that she said that at times being bipolar can be an all-consuming challenge, requiring a lot of stamina and even more courage. So if you're living with this illness and functioning at all, it's something to be proud of, not ashamed of. Lo and behold, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, along with suicidal tendencies and obsessive-compulsive disorder. While I wasn't cured, I finally had a name for the unknown enemy I had been fighting since my late teens. It's not an exaggeration to say I read Fisher's words just in time. I had lost just about everything before I realized I needed help. I let myself get far too engrossed in others' needs while pushing those same people away from them and hurting them. Fisher's memoirs were a key to unlocking that part of my brain that couldn't fully accept that there was something deeply misaligned in my head, even though I literally had nothing but the clothes on my back. And then I have another quote from her saying, I'm mentally ill, I can say that. I am not ashamed of that. I survived that, I am still surviving it. But bring it on. Carrie Fisher is more than Princess Leia or Hollywood royalty. She was a real human being that others could relate to on a personal level. I certainly did. I had always been a big fan of Star Wars, which is why I picked up her books in the first place. But anyone who read her books or listened to an interview here knew there was a lot more to her than simply being a princess from a galaxy far, far away. It's why the news of her death today devastated me. I can never thank Carrie enough because honestly, she saved my life. And that's the end of the end of the article. I'm really sorry, guys.
No,
No,
that
it's
really
fine. Yeah.
that's a beautiful article. It really, and I would encourage anybody listening to this right now to go find that article. We have a link for it on our Twitter at Cinema Squad, and it's also on our Facebook page.
But yeah, so I mean, everybody sees her as Princess Leia and everything, but you know, seeing like she'd been through so much and substance abuse and alcohol abuse and all that, and for a heart attack to take her out, you know, just shocking to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shocking to everyone.
And I'm really sorry that I kind of lost it there, guy.
Oh, no, it's fine. It was beautiful.
Thank you. But I honestly think, you know, we all should really, you know, send a thought, you know, even if you're not religious, but just a positive energy, positive thought, positive prayers towards Debbie Reynolds and Carrie's daughter and just all of their family. Just, you know, letting them know. I know I tweeted Debbie Reynolds today. I mean, she's never going to see it, you know, there's millions of fans. But just make sure to send positive energy to them, you know, because they're definitely going to need it, and respect their privacy as well. You know, too many people try to invade on that, and, you know, you really have to respect celebrities' privacy, especially in a time like this.
Well, and honestly, some of the things that the people that actually knew Carrie Fisher have said on Facebook and Twitter and elsewhere, I mean, her friends have said some really beautiful things about her. Mark Hamill wrote just an amazing post on Facebook. I mean, it was just amazing. And Val Kilmer's been talking about her a lot, and I mean, you can tell that she's touched a lot of lives, not just with the people that actually knew her, but with her fans and, you know, people that grew up not just on Star Wars, but on the Blues Brothers, on, you know, The Burbs, on all these great movies that she's been in. And, I mean, yeah, you can just... There's always, anytime a celebrity dies, there's always a lot of people that come out to say nice things about them, but not to the extent that, I mean, like I said, you can tell Carrie Fisher touched a lot of lives. And even though she was only here for 60 years, she did a lot of good in those 60 years.
Definitely. Are there any final thoughts from everybody?
I guess that's
Keep
it.
going with the force now.
Well,
Yeah.
may the force be with all of our listeners, and may our thoughts and prayers go out to Debbie Reynolds and her daughter and everyone who knew Carrie personally and just through her work. I hope you all, you know, stay safe through the rest of this year, and
This evil fucking year.
and just keep positive. You know, don't let mental illness or any sort of issues you may be having, you know, get in your way. She clearly fought for it and fought against it her whole life and got out on top. And so that's really something that we can all, you know, respect and strive towards ourselves. So this ends our podcast, and I hope you all have a lovely evening.
We love you, princess.
Love you, princess.